Well, hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am going to be sharing a week's worth of meals for our family of 8. Now today's video, I'm super excited to team up with my friend Wendy over at Plan Prep Pray. If you don't know Wendy, go check her out. She is a really good friend of mine. Absolutely love that girl, and you will just be blessed by Wendy and her precious family. Now, as I said, we're going to be sharing meals of the week for our families, so I hope you guys find some dinner inspirations over here, and also head to Wendy's channel to check out dinner inspirations over there. Hey guys, so today is Sunday and we just got back from church. It's a really pretty day, even though it's supposed to rain, and but our leaves are at peak and they're getting ready to be gone, and we really want to take a drive through the mountains. So I am actually going to go ahead and prep dinner now. My beef is frozen, but I typically just will put it on manual in the Instant Pot for like 8 minutes, and then I do the pressure release and then saute it the rest of the way until it's thawed. And then I'm going to use it in crock pot mode just to fix some taco soup for this evening. So this is not following a recipe. This is typically what I do. I just throw it together. So I'll have the beef, and then I have this Southwest taco seasoning packet. I found it in the cabinet. We will a lot of times make our own taco seasoning, but I just have this packet and I just figure I'll go ahead and use it. And then also I have a thing of corn, and I'm going to use 2 cans of black beans, and I have 2 cans of just diced tomatoes, and I'll probably add some other seasonings and stuff to it as well. But I'm going to throw this in the Instant Pot here, and then when we get back from our drive through the mountains, it will be ready for us to eat. So that's what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. Super easy. That's how I like it, especially when we want to enjoy things like a drive through our beautiful East Tennessee mountains. Alright, so it is almost thawed. Like I said, I did like 8 minutes on manual pressure and then did a release, and now it's on saute, and I threw some chopped up onion in there as well. Alright, so everything is in here now and ready to go. So I didn't like that there wasn't quite enough tomato in there, and so this is a chili base. That's what I called it when I froze it, from our garden this summer, and it's just crushed tomatoes frozen with some peppers and things like that that I would use in a chili. So I just put that on top. I'm going to put the lid on and just, like I said, put it on crock pot mode. This will all be nice and simmered together when we get home. Okay, so we are home from the mountains, and this is that yummy taco soup. I just threw some avocado and cheese and a little bit of sour cream, and it is good to go. Alright, so we've got another night of meals. This is going to be a thrown together meal. I have this that was in the cabinet. I just picked it up on clearance a while back, and so I was like, you know, we'll use this. We'll make some jerk chicken. Although this can be a little bit spicy. I've made it without one of these pre-made packs, but I just grabbed it just for nights like this. But you're only supposed to use like 1.5 pounds of chicken, but it can get a little bit spicy. So what I think I'm going to do is actually use like 3.5 pounds of chicken. We're going to do chicken thighs and chicken breasts on the Blackstone, just with the rub seasoning, and then I think you add in the liquid. I'll read it. Anyway, and then I grabbed a couple of quart-sized bags out of the freezer of our homegrown green beans. So I'm going to throw those in there and get those going. And then we're also going to do some rice with it, so it'll be a really easy dinner. Because today we had a field trip and then piano lessons, and so it's just been a really busy day. So I just need something I can make quickly and it be at least semi-healthy. So we're going to go with this. So we decided to keep some of them just with the seasoning and the garlic ginger paste. And then the rest of them we put in the simmer sauce in a cast iron pan just to simmer here, because we were afraid the simmer sauce would be a little bit too spicy for some of the kids. So, all right, so this is our dinner with the Caribbean jerk chicken over rice. So this night we decided we wanted hamburgers, and we didn't have any buns, and so that's okay because I have a really good easy bun recipe. I will link the video down below where I share that. I think I shared it a year or two ago on my channel, but this is our go-to recipe. We typically try not to buy buns in the store because there's really no need to. It does take a little time and effort, but this is a really great recipe and it's delicious. So I am just putting together all the things we need to make these buns, and John was going to grill on the Blackstone for me, so that was a win as well. I've been in here listening to music while I cook, you guys, and I have been listening, believe it or not, to Christmas music, because here it is November and I love Christmas music. But what I am doing now is I am making those oven fries I was talking about. So I prefer them to be like at an angle, kind of like a potato wedge, you know, but sometimes they end up more like this. So I just cut them in half, and I just start at one side and I just go through and I start slicing them kind of into a wedge. And so I'm going to do that to all of my potatoes and throw them in a bowl, and then I will toss them in oil. Now, sometimes you'll get one like this. I actually prefer to have them like that, so they're more like French fries if they're like really long like that in the middle. But that's up to you. You might want some more of like a wedge. And unfortunately, we don't have an air fryer anymore. Our air fryer broke, so that's a bummer. Oop, there's a bad spot. I'm also curious, have y'all been having bad luck with potatoes at the store? We obviously didn't grow any in our garden. We don't have enough space. But the potatoes I've been getting in the store, they have not been very good quality. And the pack that these came out of, actually one of them was almost totally black and smelled. So thankfully these weren't really touching that one. But that was a little disappointing. Okay, so I started doing this before I turned the camera on. But I just took a little bit of, you could use avocado oil or olive oil. That's the only oils I ever use. Oh, well, I also use coconut oil, but not on this. That'd be kind of odd. I don't want a coconut flavor to my fries. So this is, I'm just tossing them in just a little bit of oil, and then I'm going to put them on a pan with parchment paper on it and put them in the oven. Oh, I'll show you what I sprinkle on them in a second. But go ahead and set your oven at 400 degrees. That's what I was going to say. So the other thing I was going to say is I love these Kinder's seasonings for things like this. So what I am going to do is, this is the blend. That's not focusing, but it's called the blend. And I'm just going to sprinkle this all over these. Not like an insane amount. I mean, like, yes, I like seasoning on stuff and I like, you know, whatever, but I don't know. I like the flavor of the actual food as well. So I'm going to toss this, toss my little oven fries all in this. And then, like I said, you're going to take a pan, a large pan, so you have plenty of space. And I always put parchment paper down on it. You could use aluminum foil if you want to, but I put parchment paper down, and then I just spread these out all over my parchment paper. Okay, so I did go ahead and take a little bit of oil and drizzle it on here because I noticed there's a lot. I've got a lot of potatoes in this bowl. We have a large family. 8 people have to eat. And so I want to make sure that these are covered because you want them to have, you know, a French fry effect here. And so I am just going to spread these out. I'm going to make sure I don't have any clumps. Obviously, some of them are going to touch. It's fine. So to go along with our dinner, I made some broccoli and asparagus. And first, I took a little bit of Kerrygold butter and sauteed some delicious fresh garlic, and then just added my vegetables to the pan. This is one of our favorite ways to have vegetables. It's just very simple. You get a nice full flavor of those delicious vegetables and all the nice flavor they naturally have. And you just cook them up and saute them until they are all nice and done. Not mushy, just nice and done. All right, so the buns just came out. I probably could have cut these even smaller. They got so much bigger in the oven. But there's our buns. They're going to cool. The oven fries are still in the oven. I've got our veggies going here. And John is cooking the burgers. So I was going to try to keep it separate, but I ended up I needed to stir because for some reason my pan got insanely hot, even though I had it on medium. There's something wrong with this eye though, so that's probably why. But I just needed to stir it really quick before they started to burn. So it's all mixed in together. It's fine. It's all veggies anyway. So this is exciting. It's November 1st, but I do have still a few tomatoes out of our garden because before we got our first frost, I went out and picked a bunch and they were not ready. So they've been on the counter ripening and now they're ripe. So perfect timing, we get fresh tomatoes from the garden in November. But so I'm going to put these to use. I'm going to start cutting all that up now. My veggies are just kind of sitting here on the stove, which now I can turn them off. The oven fries are about to come out. The burgers are about to come off. We're about to eat, you guys. And I'm so stinking hungry. I realized I started thinking over today because like I said, it was really busy. I started thinking over today and I was like, I literally have eaten one meal and my meal wasn't even a whole meal. That and coffee. That's not good. So I'm really hungry. Oh my word, you guys. It smells and it looks so good. See how it gets like these crispy parts on it. I love it. Got our buns here. Sophia there. And we have our little toppings set up. And oh, it's going to be delicious. John's bringing the burgers in and we are going to chow down. John did a great job on the burgers. Thanks, babe. And I am so hungry. I'm probably not going to eat all this, but it looks delicious. Smells delicious. I already ate an oven fry and they of course are delicious. So if you haven't made oven fries or homemade buns, it really is kind of a game changer when it comes to burger night. All right, so tonight's dinner, and yes, it's only 2 something, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this together just because I have the opportunity. So tonight's dinner is going to be a homemade chicken noodle soup. This is what I make when kiddos are under the weather or just if we're in the mood for it. So this is some of our home canned, well, it's frozen canned. You can can it too, but I froze these. But I am going to make, this is our bone broth that we make. And then I'm going to use some chicken thighs for the meat. I'm also going to put some fresh grated ginger in it for all those good medicinal benefits, as well as some fresh garlic and some turmeric and all the things. I'll just take you along for this, but I'm going to start just by cooking this in my Instant Pot over here. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what I've done in here. I am going to go ahead and make some more broth as if I'm making bone broth. So if you don't have homemade bone broth, then this is kind of a rundown of how you can do that. Now, if you're making bone broth, obviously you want to have like a chicken carcass, okay? So if you want to boil your chicken, like a whole chicken or something, and keep the bones and then make bone broth. So I'm going to make a little extra broth because that's not enough bone broth to make as much soup as what I need. So I'm actually adding 3 cups of water to this. The pieces of celery that you might otherwise like throw away, I mean, there's not any nasty brown pieces or anything in there. It's just the pieces like that you would normally throw out. And then, or give as scraps to chickens. And then I just have a carrot that I broke in half and threw in there, and some unpeeled garlic cloves, and some pepper. And then I also threw in a bunch of some mineral salt. So I use a top of salt when I'm cooking, especially making like bone broth. I use a top that is like unfiltered minerals, so you get all the goodness in your salt. And it's a lot saltier than regular salt, so a little bit goes a long way. Anyway, I'm going to put this on manual actually because this is a little bit frozen still. I thought it would be all the way thawed. So I'm going to put it on probably 20 minutes manual and let it come up to pressure, stay for 20 minutes, and then I'll do a pressure release. But that's what I'm going to do to make some extra broth, but also to cook my chicken for my soup. Okay, so this is done. I'm going to open it up, and I'm actually going to take the chicken out of this. It's going to fog up my camera, I just know it. I'm going to take the chicken out, and I'm going to strain everything through one of my little strainers. I'm going to shred up the chicken. Then I'm going to add in my bone broth. I've got some minced garlic cloves here, and also this is a peeled piece of ginger that I'm actually going to grate into my soup, as well as some chopped up carrots and some chopped up celery. And I don't have any fresh turmeric. They didn't have any the last time I was at the store, and I really wanted to get some to keep in the fridge for the season. But I do have some powdered turmeric, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And that's going to put all of that goodness in there, the garlic, the extra garlic, because there's a ton of garlic in my bone broth, and plus there's garlic in there. And so all of that combined is going to give you all of that goodness to add to your health and well-being. Okay, so these are the noodles that we are using. They are garlic and parsley. They're from Azure Standard. These are really, really good, especially if you don't want to make your own or anything. I'm just going to pour a bunch of these in. This has been simmering for 30 minutes. Oh, that might be too many. It's okay. It's okay. That's going to be a really noodly soup, but it will be good. So I'm going to get these boiled in, and then we're going to eat the soup. All right, guys, so I am working on our last night of dinner. I didn't film one night because it was a leftovers night, and then another night we actually had a cookout with my in-laws, so that was not filmed. So breakfast for dinner is actually something we haven't done in a while. So I'm just going to cook up some of the bacon I got in my last Costco haul. I was really excited to find this bacon because they, for once, had uncured bacon at our Costco. And then I'll put a link to this pancake recipe. It's just a homemade batter recipe, and I'll put the link down below. And I'm going to cook up some eggs and serve it just with some fruit. And that is our last night of dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to go check out Wendy's video down in the description below, and I'll see you guys later. Have a blessed day.